I've got our 14S white module all disassembled into its 14 individual cells. Doing some testing now. Get some data on all the individual cells before we even start assembly. And then here's our cell number 32 and 33. Still working on our 14S to 16S lithium battery module conversion, and got pretty much all the, I've checked the voltages and stuff 3 times now, and our 2 other cells, these cells 32 and 33, started off at 3.24, and I charged them up to 4.0 volts, and then I brought them up to 405 and 4071, and then the last charging they ended up at 4075 and 4073, but then after settling a bit they settled to 4073 and 4071, and that's pretty much all of them. 4071 is pretty much our low, and had a 4075, that was cell number 5, that would be this guy here, but I use this Harbor Freight light to discharge it down a bit, and now it's at the 4.073 volts from the 4.075. So pretty much all the cells are between 4.71 and 4.73. 4.75 was our high, but like I said, I brought it down to 4.073 volts. Alright, trying to get them all nicely balanced before we go assembling. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it, but here's the little phone charger I've been using to charge up these cells, and it says it's output 5 volts at, well, 3.1 amp total, but it has 2 ports. We're only using 1, but so I guess it's 2.4 amps max per port. And like I said, I just wired up a couple of wires to this little Harbor Freight light and use it as a quick little discharge, because it had little 1.5 volt batteries in it, 3 of them. It comes out to around 4.5 or just right around 5 volts, so I figured it'd be compatible. So I've got about half of our 16S 60 volt battery assembled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, there's 8 cells there, and then there's the other 8 cells. Figured I'd do a quick polarity check, make sure everything's good to go. So that's our minus. Got 4, 8, 12. Oh, I'm showing you. There's 8. 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and the last one would be 30.2. Alright, we have cell number 8, and then cell number 9 to get ready to install. Cell number 8, negative terminals at the top, positive terminals at the bottom. So to put them in series, our negative will be at the bottom and our positive will be at the top. Line up the tabs, slide them through. I'm going to stand it up to do the next step. That terminal's bent over, So this one's got to be bent over, and then this is our next one that will bend away. We'll line up our hole and get our bolt in there. I've got our 16S 60 volt battery, the terminals and top assembled, and just another quick test. So single cell is coming in at 405, just the first cell. Click our meter up, and then let's go to this last cell here, and we've got 64.7. And 4.05 times 16, 64.8. And it was coming in at, and it's coming in at 64.7. Pretty damn close. Isn't that pretty? I cut some corrugated plastic spacers here. Should give us a little spacing between our battery cells here. And also, if they do need to swell or something, this should be, they'll give it a little crushability, or give, I guess you would say. So they slide right up in between our cells here. Just like so. Working on getting the outer cover on our 16S 60 volt module, made out of the white 14S 48 volt module. And we used 14 of the cells and the white outer casing, and I made a new top piece for it, and we added 2 more cells. Oh, I added some feet for mounting also. But it comes in at, let me see here, just under 6 inches wide, and it's just about how wide a 12 volt 12 amp hour SLA battery would be. So it'll sit in the same battery box where these would sit in, but they would need 5 of these for a 60 volt setup, and you'd only be 12 amp hours, where one of these bad boys is 60 volts and 15 amp hours and lithium. Just put a plastic band around the top, which should be adequate. I also did a couple notches here just to make sure this metal case would never get near these terminals, because that's our negative terminal and this is our positive terminal. And I tested everything again this morning, and again, most of our individual cell voltages are coming in right around 4.071 and 4.073. Our last 2 were still a little off, so I topped them up a little bit again, and then I checked them again about noon, and they had come up, this one quite a bit, just about where we need it. And then 15, I threw it on our little homemade charger or cell phone battery charger and topped it up again, and we'll let it rest now, and probably about 5 this evening we'll do another set of individual cell tests. I want to try to get it nice and balanced out before we discharge it or do anything. More to come. One more quick little recap. Took our last readings at 2 o'clock, and cell 15 was a little low, so I used our cell phone charger, brought it up, and then, like I said, that was at 2 o'clock. 8 o'clock I took all our readings again. Our overall voltage, overall module voltage, is the same, and then all of our cells are sitting pretty well, and then the one we charged up is sitting pretty well, pretty nice also. I'll check it again in the morning, but I think that's rested pretty good from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And cell number 5 was a little on the high side, so I used our 5-watt discharger and brought it down a bit to the 4.073, and that was at 2 o'clock, and then now it's still at 4.073. So overall, all of our cells are within a 0.002 volt difference. Alright, quick recap. More to come.